Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a sci-fi musical from 2012. That movie is The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. Now, guys, I really don't know a whole lot about this movie. I mean, I've seen the trailer. And the trailer looked incredibly good, and the trailer also had some really good music. Now, the problem with that is that because I've seen the trailer, I have no idea if I honestly have just seen everything decent about this movie, as well as heard the one or two decent, songs, or if I'm genuinely in for an awesome experience. The only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. Okay, I'm not entirely certain if it's sexy or creepy that she is able to pry off a soda bottle top with her fucking teeth. But it was certainly kind of cool, though. Well, guys, I am able to say one thing. The music in this film is incredibly catchy. I am really digging the songs in this thing, guys. Okay, guys, this has nothing to do with the movie, but okay, I have seen this film star. His name is Will Keenan. I've seen him in a couple of movies before. I never realized how short he was. I totally understand that has nothing to do with the fucking movie, but damn it, I just kind of noticed the guy is a little bit tiny. It's actually, again, I seriously thought he was kind of taller. Wow, we have a zombie who can sing, and sings rather well. Guys, I never thought I'd be able to claim, whilst watching a movie, that I have found a zombie who can sing. That is definitely different and incredibly cool. He has mean nostrils? What the fuck is that supposed to mean? No, guys, honest to God, I'm trying to ponder that one. She just claims Sluggo has mean nostrils. What the fuck are mean nostrils? Well, guys, that was The Ghastly Love of Johnny X. Let me shut that off. That was interesting. Okay, I'm going to talk about the writing. I'm going to start off with writing. Well, I usually start with the writing anyway. Now, I have covered a lot of movies in the past which, like this film, have attempted to pay tribute to classic films, classic genres, classic decades, but most of those just do not do it right. And the reason why is because most of those other films think that when you are doing a tribute film such as, this, you have to take every single negative and every single cliche that comes from that genre or comes from that decade, and you have to overdo it to the point where your film sucks. And the people behind The Ghastly Love of Johnny X knew better. They knew that they wanted to make a good movie that also paid tribute to a whole lot of 1950s film genres, or rather genres that were incredibly popular in the 1950s. So rather than just go completely overboard with everything is subtle. So you have subtle hints to 1950s sci-fi films, 1950s fucking juvenile films, or rather juvenile delinquent films. There were a ton of those in the 1950s. There are subtle nods to 1950s zombie flicks, what very few were out there. There's just tons and tons tons of little subtle references, and the writing also has little subtle bits of incredibly corny and stupid dialogue, and all of it works. It all works very, very well. However, I also have to stress this, that if you are not a fan of those sorts of films, if you are not a fan of films from the 1950s, this thing has a very good chance of turning you off, and turning you off really, really quick. So guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, writing here, as well as probably everything else I'm about to talk about, is a very strong love it or hate it kind of a thing. Simply because of what they were trying to pay tribute to. And nowadays, a whole lot of 1950s films are a very strong case of love it or hate it. So I'm just sort of warning, you guys right now, this film, I can totally see this movie being incredibly polarizing. So I just sort of want to put that out there right now before I continue. Now, acting. I will say this much. The acting was amazing. Across the board, the acting was awesome. Every member of this cast turned in a stellar showing. And similar guys to how the writing would throw in a little bit of subtlety in terms of referencing like 1950s films. The cast knew that 1950s cinema was known for having incredibly hammy acting, so all of them added just a slight bit of hamminess into certain scenes, and my God, does it ever benefit the film. It works so well. Again, that's because I love 1950s movies, because they are so hammy and they are so stupid. So, once more, if you honestly are not into that kind of, writing or that kind of acting, then you're probably not going to really be into this. But I can still highly recommend it, and I still ask that you guys try it out. Music. Right here is one of those make or break things when it comes to musicals. Is the music any good? Because, guys, if a musical has terrible music, then there's no reason to watch it, because music is the backbone. And in this film, the music is superb. I'm going to have to go out and download the soundtrack, or just go out and buy the soundtrack CD somewhere. This music was awesome. I loved it. Every single song was catchy, and it was memorable. And that, guys, is not just the song and dance numbers. That also counts the background music. I loved every piece of music this film had, which is something that most musicals nowadays are not able to do. I, guys, have not found a rock-solid soundtrack like this since I watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show, okay? That is saying a lot. Now, so guys, we have writing, which is really good, although possibly polarizing. Acting, which is fantastic, but again, potentially polarizing. The music is awesome no matter who the hell you are. I highly recommend you check out this movie, if for no other reason than for the soundtrack alone. Camera work here is incredibly good. Lighting here is incredibly good. Special effects. This film does not have a whole lot of special effects, but everything that is here is awesome. And I'm talking everything from makeup effects to full-blown CG, which also I should mention, as a film that's trying to pay homage to 1950s cinema, it works in CG incredibly well. Example, the whole focus of the film is on a resurrection suit that Johnny has. And anytime that he wears it, or even when he's just wearing one of the gloves from it, there is lightning digitally added on, and it looks amazing. There is so much detail in all of that lightning. Mind you, guys, that is tons and tons of detail, and I watched this thing on DVD. I would love to see what kind of details in not only the special effects, but also, guys, the picture quality here is just stunningly sharp. I would love to see what this thing would look like on Blu-ray. I really, really would. But anyway, we had that in terms of CG, and then also at the very end we see a flying saucer beautifully done in 3D, and it actually looks a lot like a CG version of the flying saucers from Plan 9. So I loved that. CG here is great. Makeup effects here are just beyond awesome. So guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend The Ghastly Love of Johnny X? Oh, hell yes. This movie is oh guys, The Ghastly Love of Johnny X is without question a work of art, and I recommend that everybody check it out. And the good news is that you can watch this thing on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix account, you owe it to yourself to go and check out this movie. And if you don't have a Netflix account, I believe that it is on Amazon for an incredibly decent price. Swing out there, buy it, guys. You will love it. Well, you may love this thing. Again, a couple of things here are kind of sort of polarizing, possibly. So I would highly recommend you go and check it out on Netflix, or rent it if you still have a video store in your area, all like 20 of them that may still be around in the US. But yeah, check it out. Check it out in any way you possibly can. This movie is fantastic. Now, I mentioned that I watched it on DVD, and that is because the film's director actually sent me the copy that I watched, and I'm going to tell you right now, I loved every second of it. So yes, I would like to thank Paul, because Paul, and his full name is Paul, it is Paul Bennell. He sent me this thing, and guys, I just have to say, Paul, thanks, dude. This movie was awesome, and I also thank you for personalizing the cover. I'm not totally sure if the camera's picking up on that, because I actually am looking at it through the fucking like viewfinder, and it's incredibly fuzzy. But anyway, dude, thank you. And guys, if you seriously want to know more about this movie, please head over to the movie's website, which is johnnyxmovie.com. Swing over there and check out everything which is over there, which I believe includes trailers and clips, and it also has a link over there where you can buy this on Amazon. Once more, that is johnnyxmovie.com. Paul, thank you. This sucker is going to have a happy spot on my DVD shelf, and if you ever decide to put this thing out on Blu-ray, you are totally free to use anything I said here as possible blurbs. Then I would like you to send me a copy of it on Blu-ray as, well, this movie was that awesome. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.